Hello, my name is Linda Monahan, and I'm really pleased to be able to share with you a reading from my new manuscript, The Door at the End of Everything. This is my third and final reading from this manuscript, and I'm very grateful to the Canada Council for the Arts for this opportunity to share my work digitally. The Door at the End of Everything is about mental health. Many of the poems were written while I was writer on the wards at the Victoria Hospital here in Prince Albert, and also I facilitate a Writing for Your Life with the Canadian Mental Health Association. So both of these experiences, as well as my own personal experience, of course, very much informed these poems. The poems that I'm going to share with you during this final reading are from a section it's called Snapshots from the Ward. So these are poems that were written in tanka, which is a short 5-line poem, and the tanka act as little snapshots, I think, of life on the ward. And the first poem from that section, though, is titled To Say There Is Poetry. To say there is poetry in the bright, impossible grin of a young man who can neither hear nor speak, a young man who ranges the ward in a paper hat that declares him St. Patrick. To say there is poetry in the random words and symbols he painstakingly puts to paper, in the bone-thin face of a tiny woman caught in the cage of dementia, who sits primly, her eyes shining, head poised like a delicate bird when she tells me, I am so lost, my family doesn't know I am here. Or in the shuffle of a middle-aged woman who touches the small pearls at my earlobes and says, I don't allow myself pretty things. In the way-faced man crouched in a corner nursing his coffee, his eyes a wilderness of infinite gray, despair a garment he wears as surely as his hospital blue pajamas. In each man and each woman here, in all their vulnerability and their humanity, in this place there is poetry everywhere. The door at the end of everything. The hall is long as the beige walls, as the days spent behind the locked door at the end of everything. Their stories are bread, broken and shared. Truth is the wine they pass round the table. Mad is compact, an everyday word. It fits into songs. Mad Hatter, mad ideas. Are you mad? These poems grow thinner, peeled diamond willow walking sticks. Games. On the psych ward, no one is better than anyone else. Life here is no chess game. Kings are no different from pawns. In the TV room, the 1,000-piece puzzle takes hours to put together, always that one piece missing. His life is a video game where he is the hero, not wanting any part of his world that's real. Gorge. Today they took away the drinking water. Bulimic, the new girl, gorges even on that. Thin women were skinny bitches. Large women he called cows. At least he was fair. Hated us all equally. Art therapy. She writes inside her mandala, broken people are more real, we know things. She draws a tangle of shining, fragile filaments like spun glass, glittery and enmeshed, wound so tight, so tight. He names himself Fat Face, Ugly Face, paints a gold butterfly. Beautiful, I tell him. He writes, Fat, Ugly Butterfly. She paints purple loosestrife, growing wild and beautiful, choking out everything that gets in her way. She paints a black butterfly fluttering into the dark night of her eyes. Inside him, there is a silver arc of moon, quiet hills of shadowed snow, 4 gray wolves at his mind's edge, singing. He wrote it all, the story he had not shared with anyone. Thought I might drown in those words, he said. Instead, I'm learning at last to swim. Snapshots from the ward. I feel like a scream, ready to rise to the surface, my cries wheeling like gulls in the falling down sky. I am brown, dull and colorless, drowning in drab, sculling in muddy water, going under, going down. Small sip of air caught there in the crystal and hydro, my friend tells me I too hold things inside. Here we are a community of ghost people, floating dead-eyed through the empty day. Long-boned hands, piano player fingers, Mum used to say, though there was never any music to our childhood. I must confess how much we are like Christmas cactus blooming in November. I never seem to get things right. I am an ironic amusement, she tells me. There is nothing about me that's anywhere close to real. Too hard to stay still in this place, the air thick as winter gruel, no way to wade through the cruel ache of it. Say, uncle, his suffering demands, twisting his thoughts behind his back. It laughs and won't let go. A rabid wolf flecks of foam at its mouth. In the mirror, this creature I don't want to know is me. He wants only one thing in life, his obsession to be an alchemist, to turn something into gold. She comes from up north, believes in all the old cures, Labrador tea, wild hyssop for heart, not these pills she can't pronounce. She was told over and over she was spoiled, rotten as an apple, dark on the inside. ECT. Ankles bound, leather restraints, wrists tied tight. I am a wild tiger captured for this zoo. Such heaviness, a weight settling on my chest, a blacksmith's anvil, iron against iron. Electric currents that flash and sizzle, in his head a thunderstorm, then nothing but the dark. I get ECT, returned home like the dry cleaning, my mind pressed flat as a pair of black dress pants. After the treatment, it's like there's been a rain, the way it washes it all away, as if the dust alone held everything together. Labels. This is jail, she writes in her journal, the sick ward. She means to spell psych, but it's really the same. I wonder, she says, how they got that word schizophrenia. How did they name normal? They label me like dangerous goods, just so you know what you're dealing with, what there is inside of me. They discount whatever I say as crazy talk, tossing my words aside, useless as dollar bin deals. So proud to call himself a writer, of all the names he's been called in life, at last, this one worth saying. This ride we're on, quintessential roller coaster ride, scream of wind rush, bone-shaking, breathless blur, weightlessness, then long stretch of same and same and same, then off we go again, free fall, no holding on to anything, arms in the air, pushed back, flung forward, the slowest slow of uphill climbs this, the slowest, slowest, slow. Nugget. Smallest of small things, find your way to the true heart, the golden yoke, the starry core, and hold it close when loss falls like a too heavy rain. When grief's ragged lightning rips into you, there it is still inside of you, little nugget, little glowing thing. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to these poems from the door at the end of everything. Thank you again to Canada Council for the Arts, and please everyone stay well and stay safe.